Hey guys, and welcome back to the Unfiltered Gamer Kickstarter card game review. Today's game up on the tabletop is called Animator versus the Animation. It's made by Insanity Games and is for 1 to 8 players. Takes about 30 minutes to learn and is for ages 8 and up. In the game Animator versus the Animation, you're going to be playing as a stick figure and you're going to be fighting each other. Now, in the basic animation of the game, which is where this game takes place from, you have this little stick figure is going around and he's fighting against the Animator, and they're going around throwing things at each other and doing damage to each other and whatnot, and you're going to have that theme kind of correspond to this game. You'll be choosing one of the 4 or 8 different players depending on the type of game you're going to be playing, and you're all going to get your own different unique action tokens in which you're going to take a place between 10 rounds. You're trying to acquire cubes or tokens from your other players, and if you can acquire 16 you're going to win the game, or at the end of all the rounds whoever has the most tokens is going to win. On your turn you're going to play a card face down. You can move those cards around afterwards, as well as playing action equipment cards and those instant actions as well. And then all this craziness will take place. You're going to score damage points, and whoever has the most points at the end of the round is doing well. And then you're going to go to the next round. You're going to continue that way until somebody hits that magical 16 number or the round's end. And with that point, at the round's end before the magic number is hit, whoever has the most points is the winner. All right, let me go and show you the game. Okay, so here's the game, Animator versus Animation. As you see, this is what comes with the game. You're going to be getting a box for the game, as well as you're going to be getting tokens. These are ones from home for me, but you're getting specific ones for yourself. I just go ahead and show you different types of cubes for the different players. You'll get 8 for each different color. You're also going to be getting different character pieces here. This is a 4-player game, or at least up to 4, and then you have the additional characters here, which goes up to 8. This is the first player marker. You've got cards that are going to be used in the multiplayer, past 4-player for reach. You've got your tokens here where your face down things, which are going to be given 10 to each player, such as drag, rotate, move, and click, as well as the equip / instant action card deck, which you'll be using as well throughout the game. This is the board you'll be playing on, where you're going to be moving the characters and rotating them, but this is all is the game Animator versus Animation. So in the game, you're going to be choosing a character. Along with that character is going to have a color. So if you choose blue here, you're going to be getting 8 of these blue markers here. And if you you can gain markers or lose your markers if you get hit. And you're trying to get up to 16 of them. You're going to put yourself in a grid. In the basic game, it's going to be 4 different colors. And you've got the blue, green, yellow, and red. And they're going to be facing away from each other. You're also going to be getting these different actions you can take throughout each round. They rotate, drag, click, and so on and so forth, move. You're going to get 10 of these, and you're going to be able to use 1 of these per round. You're also, at the beginning of every round, going to get to draw a card from this deck. When you play with more than 4, you're going to be getting these cards here, which involve reaches and cleaves and throws and whatnot. I don't have those to show you right now, so we'll be talking about the 4-player variant, the 1, 2, 3, 4-player variant. But you're also going to draw one of these cards from the deck, and some of them are going to be equipments, like magnifying glasses you can put on your character, as well as other things where we're going to make sure that opponents can't attack or don't do damage, as well as equipping stuff like I don't know, antiviruses, where you get to do 2 damage to the target of your choice. You're going to be putting them down face down on different characters there, except for the equipment you put face up, and then you can actually move them around after everything has been placed, and then afterwards, the insanity's all been done, you flip everything over and see what happens. Take damage, gain markers, so deal damage, take markers, take damage, lose markers, and then you're going to rinse and repeat that aspect. Alright, I'm going to show you a couple rounds of the game now. Okay, so I've gone ahead and set up for a 3-player game, and all you gotta do is have each player select one of their colors. So we went ahead and selected green, blue, and red here, and given them their 10 different actions. You're gonna get 4 rotates, 2 drags, 2 moves, 2 clicks. And that's going to give you 10 total. So everybody's going to have these face down, only that you can see that they're going to be in your hand. So also select somebody to go first. Remember, the game's going to be taking place counterclockwise as opposed to clockwise. Whether that matters, I'm not too sure. Also, to begin the round, every single person is going to get to draw a card. So in this instance, these 3 players are each going to get to draw one of their cards. And these things range from instant actions like this one here to equipment actions that are like this one here, this gun here. Here's another, there's a lasso. Ooh, all different kinds, awesome. So we're going to flip these over so nobody else can see these but yourself, along with these actions here. The first player is going to start by choosing any of these 4 characters to do an action. Now remember, in order to hurt somebody, you have to punch them or be directed towards them. So you have to rotate yourself to point at somebody. This would hit blue, this one would hit yellow. Obviously he can't hit red. You can only do it 90 degrees or 180 degrees when you choose to rotate. So that would be something you could do, rotating, right? Moving it, 90 or 100 degrees. You could also choose move, and that would let you move your piece to any other location, just like that. Another one would be to click. You can put this on any character, and when you flip it over, clicking does a damage, so you would actually gain 1 health point of theirs to your pool whenever you click them. You're going to also have drag. So if, for instance, an enemy has a gun equipped to them, you can have drag, and you flip this over, and then you take this and put it on your character. So that can help you can drag different pieces over to your own character. That's beneficial. But right now, nobody is able to hit each other. So he's going to go ahead and look through his hand, see what he wants to do. I think he's going to choose to move. He'll put that one down right on his spot. He could choose any of the characters, even ones that are not his own. Then you're going to go counterclockwise, and this player is going to go ahead and select. So red's like, okay, what do I want to do? Well, what did he do? I'm not too sure. But he'll go ahead and choose rotate. So he'll put that one face down. And then blue is going to go ahead and select their movement as well. Maybe he'll choose to do this one. Good. So now everybody has chosen to put one of these things down here. Then the next phase of the game begins, where you can choose to actually move these around. So starting with this player and going clockwise, do they want to actually move this? Maybe he wants to put it here instead of there now, based on the allotment of how everybody placed it. Or you can choose to just pass and leave it where it was at. I think everybody's happy where they're at, but just saying, you could actually choose to move them if you wanted to. So then after that, you go ahead and flip, starting with the first player. This is a move icon. So he's going to choose to move this and switch it with this player. Now that action has been burnt. That's no longer useful anymore. The next player is red. Red's going to use whatever one he put down, flip it over. This is rotate. So maybe he'll choose to rotate it to blue here, because he was facing yellow, which would be something he would want to do, but he wouldn't want to face it away. He wants to actually hit somebody. So he's going to choose to hit blue now. Blue's finally up. He's going to flip. He has this move action here. So he's going to then choose a character to move. Maybe he'll move it like this. Now, after that is done, everybody's facing each other. You can choose to then play equipments, right? So green over here has this little gun equipment, and he's going to choose to play that in his character. So gun gives him +3 damage. Normally you only have 1 damage, but with this thing, it's +1. And then next character, does he have an equipment? He doesn't. And does this character have an equipment? They don't. After equipment has been placed, then you can go ahead and put things face down again, which are going to be your quick actions. He doesn't have anything, so it goes to red. Red has this antivirus for 2 damage, so he'll go ahead and put this down face down secretly. Maybe he'll want to put it on blue here. And then we got blue over here, and blue says, what do I want to do? How about I'll put this on this guy. After that, you go through the phase again where you have that face down. You can actually choose to move these around if you want. And I don't think they're going to do that. Red's fine where he's at, and blue's happy where he's at. So red will flip over. Bam. Hit target animation for 2 points. So blue takes 2 damage and gives it to red. And this card has then been burnt. And then blue gets to do his. Bam. Target animation can't attack this turn. So even though this guy has +4 attack to yellow, he's not going to be able to do any damage. Then we're going to calculate damage. So normally in a fight, if this is 4 and he has 1, so it would be 3 damage to him. So green would do 3 damage to yellow, and yellow would have to give him 3. However, because he can't attack, he doesn't do any damage to this guy at all. Also, we got blue over here who's hitting red. Blue's hitting red for 1. If red were facing him, it'd be 1 and 1, which would be 0. But because he's not, that's 1 directly damaged to red here. So red is going to give blue 1 point here. And that would be it for this round. And then they would go ahead and move on to the next round. Everybody would go, this little marker here would move on to the next player, and everybody's going to get one of these cards here. And then you're going to go ahead and simply look through your hands again, and this player here would choose one of his things to do. Maybe he wants to rotate, maybe he wants to move or click or whatnot. And they would progress like that. You would go through the game until somebody acquired all 16 points total, or until all of these cards have been played, all 10 rounds have been gone through, and at which point the game would end. Whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. Animator versus animation. So that's the basic idea of how to play the game Animator versus the animation, right? You're going to be getting all these different types of cards. Remember, once you hit 16 points, if that happens, instant win for you. Congratulations. If not, you go throughout the 10 rounds, and whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. There's a bunch of cards in the deck. I'm going to go over a couple of them. Some of them are going to be equipment that you can only use once, like this magnifying glass. It'll give you +1. Other ones are instant uses, which are used after equipments, which this one says target animation can't be dealt damage. Other ones will say actually can't be dealt or deal damage. Lasers for +1. Antivirus, which you saw, which is just 2 straight up damage. You've got hand tool, which will just let you move an additional movement that turn. Pretty sweet. Discard an equipment from an opponent, so on and so forth. There's quite a few of them. Not only that though, but when you play with more than 4 players, you're going to be making that large grid. And when that happens, specifically in that gameplay, there's likely to be AI players. Even in the one I showed you, yellow was actually not used. However, they can still score points and whatnot, and it's even possible for them to win. You're not going to be playing cards, but if they hit people, they're going to take points away from them. So, just something to be aware of. But there's also additional multiplayer cards. For instance, there are reach cards in the deck. When you add up all these different characters here, up to 8, there's certain cards that do different things. The reach will let you actually move, attack up an extra space, because when you're going to have the 8 players, it's going to be a larger board, and there's going to be an empty space in the middle. So you really hit people across. You've got stuff like throw, which means you can attack sideways, and then you've got stuff like cleave, where you can hit the person who you're pointing at, but you can also hit the person to the side, but you're not going to get that +1 bonus, which you would normally get when you're punching somebody. You're just going to get whatever item is equipped to you. So for instance, if you got this gun equipped to this guy here, he's going to get 4 going this way and 3 going this way with his cleave. That's pretty cool as well. And there's a couple other ones that involve the multiplayer aspect of the game, but for the most part, that's it. You're playing until the timer runs out, or you get those 16 coveted points, in which case you win the game Animator versus Animation. Alright, let me tell you what I think about it. Alright, so Animator versus Animation. What do I think of it? Well, first off, the game is true to the style it represents. That crazy little stick figure running around trying to fight against you, the little guy moving the cursor. So the animator's trying to do what he needs to do on the screen, and as you see, the animation is running amok and not wanting to do exactly as it's told. And so you have this big fight scene. It kind of reminds me of like those desktop destroying sequences and all that kind of stuff. It does bring that theme to life in this game, because it's crazy and different things are happening at all the same time. You're fighting against AI, you're fighting against your opponents, so you're trying to collect these points as best you can, and it's very, very tactical, right? Pulling from this deck of cards is the thing that adds the chance to it, whereas the placing the things face down is what adds the tactics to it. So you're going to have 2 different types of people who like this game. However, you have to like both mechanics to enjoy the game, because you're going to have stuff like the eraser, which discards equipment, and then you're going to have stuff like the antivirus, which is more of a take that you instantly do 2 damage, which is very powerful in the game. The art style, right, is very, very simplistic. But then again, that's kind of the point, right? It's made to be simplistic. It's the style of, you have the click action, the drag action, and the rotating action. Those are the things you're going to be doing in the game, but it's also what you're going to be seeing in the animation, which kind of works for the game as it is. I do enjoy it because it's crazy. The game is fanatical. You don't know what's going to happen half the time. You're trying to prepare for the worst, but at the same time, you might not be able to do so because you don't know what your opponents are going to be playing. And then one time I was playing the game, and I had we all had drag, and there was one item out, and there was a +2, and it was very good. Items are very good. Equipment's very good in this game, and so we all wanted it. So we had to determine who was going to get it based on how we place the things, and trying to place it the best we could to get it. And sometimes you gotta realize you're not going to be able to get it if that last person knows what they're doing. But do they? I don't know. It's worth a shot, right? Specifically for an additional +2 damage. Or with the gun, a +3 damage. Very, very good. So you have those aspects of the game. Or sometimes you just want to avoid taking all that damage. If you can't steal the weapon away from your opponent, you just got to make sure your opponent is hitting nothing, shooting out into space. So playing cards on your opponent is just as good as playing stuff on yourself. And when you run out of certain moves, like if you can no longer use the term move, you don't have that anymore, you have to decide, is it better to rotate somebody else since I can't move to the position I want to be positioned to. Also, not only, you can have characters that are going to have no life left. This is the character we used as the example of an AI character in our games, and for the most part, he didn't do much. In fact, he lost a lot of life. And when he runs out of life, you ain't able to hit him anymore because he has no more health to give you, and you need those 16 points. So you have to determine how you want to persuade yourself to saving what at the very end. And those last rounds can be very important, especially if you can remember what all your opponents have played. If you have a good memory, you're going to do really well in this game because you're going to know, oh, he has no more moves left, or he definitely has a rotate left, or he's more likely to do these 2 out of the different options because he only has so many left before the rounds are over. A lot to think about in this game. It's a very small game, very simple to understand, but there's a lot of complexity to it. And if you like a little bit of that added chance to deck drawing, as well as the added strategy of the placement and the ability to move them afterwards, after you see it where the board has been positioned, which is really cool as well, then you're probably going to like this game. For me, I really, really enjoyed this game. There's a lot to like about this game. I love the tactical aspects of this game. I'm not the biggest fan when it comes to drawing the cards from the deck and getting like the antivirus. That's probably my least favorite card in here because it's very strong, just does 2 damage. It's a very good catch-up mechanic for people who are behind. It's a very good win bigger mechanic for those who are ahead. However, the rest of them I really do enjoy the extra move and stuff like that. You're never going to see it coming, and it adds the fanaticness of the game because it does remind me very simply of the animation. The animation versus the animator, and I remember watching those as a kid, and it does really well bringing that to life, I think. So if you like it as much as I do, I suggest taking a look at the Kickstarter campaign in the description below. Let me know what you think. If you're interested, back it. Alright guys, thanks for watching another Unfiltered Gamer Kickstarter card game review. If you like this video, like to see more, or want to check the rest of the videos here on YouTube, like, subscribe, and comment, as well as checking out our website, unfilteredgamer.com. Tons of blog posts, giveaways, Kickstarter lists, and more. Got a huge Kickstarter list that shows you all the different games, stuff like that, as well as a couple of giveaways. Right now we are doing one for the Holmes and Moriarty Kickstarter, which includes getting a game like Ilios or Les Mis, both really fun little card games, which I'll be reviewing shortly, as well as checking out the Animator versus Animation Kickstarter campaign. If it's interesting to you, if you're has any nostalgia and you want to have that craziness come on the tabletop with your family, with your friends, I definitely do suggest it. Check it out, as well as checking out our affiliated sites, everythingboardgames.com, the Giveaway Geek, and my personal friend, the Cardboard Stacker, Ferdinand, do some excellent stuff, and I think you should go ahead and check them out. Alright guys, like, subscribe, and comment, please. It all helps. Greatly appreciate it, and I look forward to, as always, seeing you next time.